Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only Maxi here once again, and I'm back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Kirby and the Forgotten Land for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time, we've simply managed to complete everything for the sake of the forms of the second world in the game, which is of course Everbay Coast, and despite the fact that we have to replay through the Tropical Terror twice, due to the forms of not only for certain missions, but also just trying to take care of the forms of certain time we need to beat, and also just try to take Tropic Woods down without taking a single hit. So, but luckily we did manage to do that anyway. So, yeah, today for this video is the fact that we're going to be moving on to the third world in this game called Wondaria Remains, which fundamentally this takes place in an amusement park, which is pretty cool if you ask me. And the first stage we're going to be heading to on this world is Welcome to Wondaria. Now, out of all the actual worlds, in terms of Kirby and the Forgotten Land so far, this is without a doubt one of my favorite worlds in the game. Because like I said, we're going to be able to actually explore around in this particular amusement park. So as a result though, it always kind of reminds me of the Tropical Coast kind of vibe to it, from the likes of, oh no wait, Tropical Resort from the likes of Sonic Colors. I keep thinking about the forms of the other place, which is specifically that I keep thinking about Sonic Lost World for some reason, because I know for the fact that Tropical Coast was actually the level's name on Sonic Lost World. So yeah, forgive me if I botched it, because I'm gonna have to be brutally honest here. During the actual commentary, for some reason today, I always have a bit of struggle trying to do commentary today, because I have no idea why. Is it mainly because I was being a little bit of a stubborn or something like that? Well, mind you, I'm still perfectly fine as it is, but for some reason I just keep on messing things up with the forms of the actual script. But luckily for this point, this is my successful attempt, I'm hoping anyway. So anyway, oh by the way, that looks super adorable. Let me put that capture button in, there we go. So that way I can able to add it into my album. Even especially noticeable if my Switch memory decides to run out, then obviously I'll send those onto the forms of my laptop. So that way I can able to like transfer those photos in there. So that way that'll be the easiest thing to do. So anyway, because usually relatively speaking, it's just the fact that hopefully I should be able to actually get my commentary going and running. So, but thankfully though, I wasn't nowhere near as tired as the forms of how it does it on, well, to be more specifically in the past few days ago, because, well, jeez Louise, I was having a bit of struggle sleeping in the past few days. Because, well, here's the thing, because I was usually hyped about the forms of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie came out on the UK version anyway, so because of that though, yeah, I do apologize for that. So as a result though, but then again, I'm not going to mention any spoilers for the film, because obviously it never came out in North America just yet, until 2 days left now. So because of that though, hopefully we're able to actually guarantee we can able to celebrate the film's release in North America until whenever we get back into this game. So, you know, just like how I did for the forms of the UK version. So, anyway, a few things I want to explain for this point today, and that is the fact that today's day is of course the April the 6th today, in this case in 2022 today. So relatively speaking, about the fact the matter is though, is the fact that, well, like I said, only 2 more days to go until the North American's release of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie is going to be approaching onto the cinema screen. So, hope you guys, for those of you who lived in America, will be prepared, able to actually just to get yourselves organized, able to buy some tickets, so hopefully you can able to actually watch this incredible movie. Well, it does have some flaws for sure, but I'm probably not going to mention about this right now, because either way though, I'm probably not going to, like I said, not going to mention any spoilers for the time being, because, you know, the newest films, they usually came out, I'm probably not going to discuss upon spoilers, because unlike certain YouTubers out there, they for some reason just managed able to once again spread out a lot of spoilers for the sake of the forms of the movie, which I have no idea why they're still doing it. But anyway, well, there's something fun. We can able to actually just to have fun on the forms of the roller coaster. So in this kind of segment, we need to able to actually just to move left or right, and that's pretty much how the controls plays out. So, and what's also pretty fun though is the fact that, well, it does kind of remind me of one of those segments from the likes of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, either on the Wii or the Switch version, because usually, relatively speaking, that you have to utilize the motion controls in order to able to actually just get to those parts. Or, in some cases on the Switch though, if I recall correctly, that you get out to able to utilize the analog sticks or something like that. Mind you, I haven't exactly played Skyward Sword HD for quite some time since when that particular HD port came out for about, not too long ago. Well, to be more specifically, almost like a year ago almost. Well, as far as I should say, about 9 months ago or something, so. And it's a good thing we did manage to activate all those switches, because we need to able to activate those switches in case if we need to free Waddle Dee right here. Because luckily, if you messed up at least once, thankfully there's actually that blue warp star which actually allowed you able to retry that particular segment, which is always handy though, especially noticeable about the fact that thankfully you don't need to able to actually retry the level all over again if you try to able to collect those things again. So yeah, that might be something worth about to able to actually noticing this from the get-go, so. Now I suppose I should probably mention about this as well, I guess, is the fact that another thing I want to discuss is the fact that recently I managed able to, for some reason, just go back onto Mario Kart Tour again, and because of that though, the next tour is recently came up, which appears to be the Yoshi Tour, which, as far as I'm aware, you know, we're going back into this nostalgic track from Mario Kart 64, that's what appears to be Yoshi Valley, which, as a result though, the only thing is though, is the fact that I'm more accustomed to the forms of the Mario Kart 8 version of that track, in addition to the original version as well, because I don't know, something about the forms of the Mario Kart Tour version of that track, although it's nice to be able to actually bring that track back, but for some reason I just keep on thinking about the forms of the 8 version of the actual track, because it's pretty obvious with the forms of this amazing remix music, and on top of all that stuff though, amazing visuals, and on top of all that stuff though, chaotic items, especially noticeable during the course of the online play and stuff like that. But for Mario Kart Tour though, we're going back to 8 players and all that stuff though, and I still managed to get myself RMG from that Mario Kart Tour game due to the forms of, well, as you might expect, the item system really screws me up, and on top of all that stuff though, just controls in general, so. But I digress. Oh, and also we've stumbled across our another mouthful ability, which this time we actually ended up ourselves, the Water Balloon Kirby, which, gotta think about it, it looks really weird at first whenever you look at him like that. But ultimately though, it does kind of remind me of able to utilizing Flood from the likes of Super Mario Sunshine, where basically you get able to spew out water to able to not only get rid of enemies, but also get rid of certain mud, and even especially noticeable just watering some plants. You know, just like it kind of reminds me of the Flood, you know, Flood thing from the likes of the forms of Super Mario Sunshine. Although, like I said, that we will be able to go back onto Super Mario 3D All-Stars once we pretty much gonna be all settled and during at some point during the summer. So, because you know, feel like playing Super Mario Sunshine in the most appropriate weather for the sake of the forms of the sunshiny weather day. So, yeah, you probably expect it by this point. So. And also another thing I would like to mention about this as well, I think, is the fact that, I don't know about you, but I'm presumingly that tomorrow, that we might able to get ourselves our next, Switch Arcade Archives game is going to be on its way, and so specifically tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, that flower right down there, pretty easy to miss if you have a first time playing this particular level like this. Especially noticeable, whenever I'm able to play this on my own time, I can never for the life of me never actually find that particular flower part to begin with. But if you try to get rid of as much of the forms of those mud as possible, then you should able to try to find it like no sweat, I guess. But it's just the fact that it's kind of feels a bit of a one of those situations where if you think you're pretty much going to be able to try to find everything, if you're trying to able to actually just to not look it up on guides and stuff like that, well, it turns out though is the fact that if you're about to be missing one of them, then you're pretty much going to have to be able to do all that stuff all over again, I guess. But either way though, that's as far as I can usually try to able to describe about that specific stuff worth noting for. But anyway. And I believe from here, this is where we find our next Waddle Dee. So either way though, we can able to actually rescue him no matter what. And then hopefully we'll get another 3 by, you know, finishing the actual main level, so... Alright, so let's go ahead and spray that. And it should able to actually lead us to, well, the end of the level, just right up there. I really love the actual, the horizon distance with this particular world, because again, it does remind me of the forms of not only Tropical Resort from Sonic Colors, but also Amusement Park World from Super Monkey Ball 2 and Deluxe, and even recently Banana Mania. So as a result though, that I'm very, really love the aesthetics about this world. So anyways, let's grab some more figurines, which are both entirely new from the first volume, so that should be cool, I guess. So, not doing too bad for the sake of the forms of this world so far, but hopefully though, we're able to actually get even more Waddle Dees, and then after we're done with those Waddle Dees hunting, then we can pretty much expect that we can able to tackle for those treasure roads, such as these ones, until later on, so... Alright, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next level, which appears to be Circuit Speedway. Oh yes, this level is pretty awesome, especially noticeable about the fact that, wow, you notice about the fact that we've already stumbled across the mouthful car ever since the very beginning of the game. Well, we can able to actually use that specific mouthful ability loads of times on this level, because the main emphasis on this stage is the fact that, well, as soon as we're able to swallow up the car, and able to actually drive around with it, is the fact that if you come across into the actual starting location on this particular track, basically we need to beat a certain amount of time in order able to actually just to get certain rewards. So in this case though, is the fact that we need to beat this particular first course within under 25 seconds, because if you do that, I would guess you were able to actually get yourselves the actual first Waddle Dee. So, but there's also a hidden objective, which you do need able to do by, oh, sweet victoryness. And because of that though, since I managed to beat this particular first course for under 20 seconds, that also gives me an extra Waddle Dee. So yeah, that's actually super dope and everything. So in this case, let's grab another Waddle Dee by simply beating this particular course for about under 25 seconds, as you probably already know. So as a result though, that it will take a bit of while to get used to with the forms of the track layout and everything, but I highly suggest you're able to actually just to be fast on these parts, because especially noticeable if you're actually missing on something for those Waddle Dees and all that stuff though, I highly recommend you're able to do that, because obviously that it's definitely worth it. So anyway, so oh yeah, speaking of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, mind you, yet again, I'm not going to spoil things majorly, but from what I've heard about the reviews of the film so far, similar to the films within the first film, specifically for IGN, that basically IGN just managed able to give the score for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie once again a 7 out of 10, just like in the first one. So yeah, it seems like these two films are very similar with the review scores so far. And speaking of so far though, is the fact that it's going pretty good for the actual review so far, at least specifically when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, but for some stupid reason, it's the fact that critics are usually just goes like, a bad mood kind of syndrome or something like that, all over again. Which, I don't know if I can usually try to describe it or not, but that's mainly because I haven't exactly looked upon Rotten Tomatoes website for such a long time. Ever since whenever I looked up on things like Spider-Man No Way Home reviews, and especially noticeable with No Time to Die, excuse me, and also, you know, My Little Pony and New Generation on Netflix. So, oh, speaking of such though, is the fact that until tomorrow anyway, My Little Pony Tell Your Tale is going to be releasing tomorrow for YouTube, including YouTube Kids. So yeah, I might be a little bit optimistic with this though, especially noticeable with how the art style actually looks like. Or maybe it's probably because I still kind of prefer the 3D CGI version of those kinds of ponies, because, well, they look a lot more detailed on the 3D animation department, because it almost kind of reminds me like a Disney movie, or in some cases like a Pixar movie or something like that, or even a DreamWorks movie on certain occasions. But either way though, that's it's fine I guess, able to have the 2D adaptation of the forms of G5. I mean, surely that nothing can possibly go wrong. I mean, we'll just have to able to wait and find out until that particular series will come out until tomorrow on YouTube and stuff like that, which it's weird. Why did it go for the YouTube route? Like, I almost first thought that was going to be on Netflix, just like in a movie, and even the upcoming, well, let's just say by the forms of another series that I forgot what the name was, so let me know in the comments below, because, well, it has been quite a while since I actually mentioned something like that, so... Anyways, let's go ahead and do with another racetrack, which this time we need to beat it for under 50 seconds. But here's the cool thing about this though, is the fact that we can able to actually just to take some shortcuts, which I think that's the best example I can think of when it comes to getting everything on this level. Because if you try to able to utilizing taking certain shortcuts, including memorization with that particular correct directions with all this little roundabout platforms like these ones right here, as you probably saw, basically does the fact that you give yourselves a good extra speed. But if you accidentally manage able to get into the opposite way, then you're probably not going to make it. So, but yeah, and also I just managed able to take a whole bunch of shortcuts, because I think there's a good reason for it, is that if you somehow manage to pull this off, then basically not only do we get ourselves another Waddle Dee from that particular standing podium, but also we get an extra Waddle Dee if we manage to go for that particular route or objective. So, pretty cool and pretty swell at the same time, which I will say that this is perhaps one of my favorite levels in the game so far, along with other ones as well. So in this case though, there's not much else to honestly try to say about this here, so and basically the end of the level is just right there, so... Yep, I think we actually did collected everything on this level, so it's not too bad, not too shabby either. So even then though, that I really wish if that particular, well, it always kind of reminds me about the fact that this level does remind me of another one of those levels from, what's saying Yoshi's Crafted World, that basically they're able to actually ride on that particular crafted vehicle at all times, and then basically does the fact that you have to able to win the race, not able to get a whole bunch of those little happy flowers and stuff like that. But except the fact that that level doesn't go nearly as dragged on as this. So, well, to be more specifically though, this level in particular doesn't go nearly as dragged on as the forms of Yoshi's Crafted World racing level. So, that's actually pretty swell I have to say. So, anyway, so now we're done with that, and now it's going to move on to like a spooky kind of theme level right here. So, yeah, to be expected with most other Kirby games, including Kirby Triple Deluxe, as far as I can usually recall it that. But anyway, Invasion at the House of Horrors. So, this will be interesting. Especially noticeable about the fact that we might able to actually come across into ourselves let's just say another mouthful ability, but we're probably not going to come across into one until whenever we're able to, you know, come across, oh yeah, these little jump scare monster cardboard inserts. So you can't necessarily kill them, I'm afraid, apart from the fact that until whenever we get to later on though, that we will able to actually try to figure out something in order able to kill these things. So anyway though, I suppose I should probably mention about this as well, I guess, is that, honestly, there's not much else I can say. Although apart from the fact that you notice about the fact that recently, Sonic the Hedgehog is now able to actually get on to the next installment of the WarioWare series of Let's Plays, and this time, he's going to be ended up in WarioWare Twisted for the Game Boy Advance. Mind you, he's going to be playing on the emulator, and oh man, remember what he said before? That trying to do on the emulator on the game is actually a pain in the butt to deal with, which, true, that might be seems the case, especially noticeable about the fact that originally we were expecting to try to able to set up our DualShock 4 controller to able to actually put in with a gyro sensing controls, but for some reason that we never seem to do it, because obviously the only methods we can only do at this point is by simply we need to able to utilize the new forms of the actual analog stick in order to make it happen. But either way though, we'll just see what happens in due time. Now I get the feeling that I don't think that Sonic will able to actually just try to able to, well, I suppose he'll try to mention more details about that until when he goes back on to WarioWare Twisted at some point, and especially noticeable about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, that's as far as I can usually try to describe it, so... Alright, so here's another mouthful ability we have. We have the light bulb Kirby, and basically this allows you to able to actually just activate the light bulb if you can't see what's going on in a dark room. So in this case though is the fact that you can able to actually press the the B button in order to able to actually just to keep on switching the light bulb on and off, and then if you manage to able to hold it for if you turn it on for a while, basically Kirby just managed able to start to walk a bit slowly, and then if you try to able to switch it off, basically it goes back into its normal running speed. However though, if you come across into any other enemies, specifically, we'll point it out whenever we get into one. So in this case though, let's go ahead and hop over there, and then try to shine it onto that particular detector thing, and that way we can able to reveal certain prizes, such as more star coins, as well as some healing items here and there. So, yeah, you pretty much expect it at this point, so... Alright, so... Yeah, if you see that little monster cardboard cutout, it just shows up, and then basically we get out able to jump immediately, just in case that we don't able to, you know, fall off the actual stage. Oh, and by the way, these guys right there, if you try to able to shine right at them, basically they're trying to go after you. And for this particular mission objectives case, we can't afford to able to get touched by these, let's say like shadow Godors or something like that. Well, mind you, those enemies are pretty much new to me. So as a result though, yeah, we're pretty much gonna have to be very cautious with that. Before we continue things on here, I think there might be something that usually is located over there, such as, well, more star coins and some more capsules that we can able to find. So, pretty swell, I have to say, for you know, trying to finding things out and all that stuff. Alright, so we need to be very careful, because obviously we don't want to able to actually fail the mission by, you know, touch these guys. So, at least as far as I'm guessing correctly what that particular mission objective stands for. So anyways, let's go ahead and deal with this part. Oh yeah, kind of think about it, every once in a while we've now managed able to stumble across those little roulette blocks, as you can see. But the one we need to aim for is the Waddle Dee, because if you accidentally manage able to hit Gordo right there, then basically that you can't afford able to actually just to get the Waddle Dee out of it. So keep that in mind, and you always have to able to rely on timing. So yeah, as you probably already know, is about the fact that we already come across into another one earlier ago. So yeah, I guess that's that. Anyways, let's shine on here to able to activate those platforms, and sure enough, we can able to actually just to go ahead and move on. So I don't think there's anything else in there, I guess. I mean, surely that if I was missing something, then I'm gonna have to able to do a massive jump cut, and then actually I don't think I can probably do a massive jump cut or anything, because obviously I'm also able to actually just trying to go for this level as quickly as possible, at least if I'm guessing correctly. So alright, so let's go ahead and grab this last snack, and that way... Oh wait, that doesn't count as the forms of that particular, the actual candy snack or something. So we'll just skip along ahead, and then just obtain Volcano Fire. And what's this? We need to able to choose the correct direction we need to aim for. Let's try on the right. Oh, wait a second, that's a fake. But luckily, there's a treasure chest just managed to pop up onto the real side, so at the very least we can able to obtain that. So, yeah, this level's pretty cool, especially noticeable about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, that the colors do really pop up on this level, which I will say it does look pretty cool to look at. So anyway, let's just go ahead and continue things on here. And of course that was the fake, because obviously that particular imagery is like still. So in this case though, we should probably climb up to the ladder and grab this another capsule we can get. Although that relatively speaking, that we always attempt to able to come across into ourselves the yellow capsules, but hopefully until in the later levels throughout the game that we will able to come across into the forms of another color variations of certain capsules. So there we go, there's our another Waddle Dee by able to actually eat 3 snacks in the entire stage. So at least cake is the last one of them, so Alright, so pay attention to this part, because if you see that little hole over there that you can actually enter into, that way you would able to get yourselves another blueprint, or blueprint, as far as I like to say for this point. I can't really tell with the actual text writing, so I do apologize for that. So because of that, yeah, we're basically all sorted from here on. So anyway, so let's go in and go to the left here. Oh wait, that's definitely a fake. But if we managed able to go in here, basically we stumbled across the actual vending machine. So in this case, we can able to use it for, I would say, the next objective we can able to do with. So, and I just get a horrible feeling that I'm actually missing something. So yeah, I think I totally get the idea. I'm pretty much missing something. So, but hopefully though, yeah, it looks like I've managed to fail that. So, oh well, no big deal. But at the very least, with those Waddle Dees you saved, you kept it forever. So in this case though, that unlike, you know, let's just say Sonic Events 2, that you have to able to re-grab those special stage keys, or the special stage rings, in order able to actually just to do this in one singular run. And then just basically you have to able to go for that stuff all over again with a multitude of characters, and that's a bit tedious for sure. And also we've managed able to destroy those monster cardboard inserts by simply using the vending machine, so at the very least we did that no problem. And sure enough, yeah, I was missing one, so oh well, no big deal. But at the very least we can able to actually just rescue the final 3 of those Waddle Dees at the end anyway, to do this amazing victory dance here. So yeah, I guess that's that. And yeah, it is pretty darn close to able to actually just to collect everything on the stage. But, like I said, I'm probably not gonna able to do a massive jump cut or anything, because I'm gonna have to complete this stage as quickly as I can before the actual video itself ends. So, anyway, so I don't think we can probably do another level, because as far as I'm aware, like I said, we're about to be able to go back into this level again, but this time I need to able to try to get myself the final Waddle Dee for sure onto that particular stage. So, but I'm pretty sure that we're almost at the halfway point, I think anyway. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. So here's some next portals right here, so that way we can able to actually access to them until maybe for later, for after we're done with the actual world or something like that. So anyway, so I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this as well, I guess, that is the fact that recently, Kirby fan 345, she has recently finished up with the actual game by going for the forms of some final few extras of the game, and I did manage to message her saying congratulations for accomplishing to able to complete the entire game so far. Well, mind you, I'm getting to the actual game quite slowly, mind you, because of the forms of the daily recording sessions, and also I did manage to play the game on my own time for a bit, and I keep on missing some other collectibles for the sake of the forms of my own time. But I still enjoy the game, don't get me wrong, but I have no choice but to able to actually look up on certain things if I was missing something. So because of this though, yeah, it does kind of reminds me of something related to finding those godforsaken hidden box crates for the sake of the forms of Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time, because in one of those levels, as far as I've heard about it correctly, called Off Balanced, that has to be one of the worst hidden boxes in any other Crash level. So because of that though, yeah, if you have a first time playing Off Balanced, you will never know if where in the God's name of that particular well hidden box crate is going to be located. So as a result though, yeah, prepare to be tested by any means of any stretch of your imagination. So because of that though, because I haven't got to that point, because, well, mind you, because I'm still busy playing other games for sure, but if I get around onto Off Balance level, oh man, that'll be hellish, especially noticeable if you're trying to go for this godforsaken perfect relics throughout the game, because, well, I'll suffice to say, because if you ever watched the categories video of the worst possible way to able to 100% for everything, or should I say 106% of the entire Crash Bandicoot 4, you know exactly what I mean. So in this case though, if you guys wanted to look it up, to be more specifically for those of you are the Crash Bandicoot fans, so, oh wait a second, I've somehow managed to realize I've somehow missed this part. Ah, I'm such a dumb little navigator. But luckily, we've managed to rescue this final Waddle Dee on this level, so I don't think there's any point I can able to jump cut at this point, so... Ay ay ay. Oh, and also another thing I would like to mention about this as well, that since if you guys ever watched my Let's Play of Banjo-Kazooie, well, to be more specifically, Sonic did manage to able to done the Let's Play of Banjo-Kazooie back in the forms of about almost a year ago. That the version we played on is the Xbox Live Arcade version, as you already know. But recently, the Runaway guys, they've decided able to go on to, well, to be more specifically, Checker Conroy, he's going to be able to playing Banjo-Kazooie on the part of the Runaway guys Let's Play. While, I think, Nintendo Capri-Sun, along with, Proton John, is going to be able to do a bit of a guide to, you know, to Checker Conroy on Banjo-Kazooie. So, but I've watched it for a bit, and I actually enjoyed it. So in this case, though, it will be pretty interesting, especially, oh man, if he come across into the worst level in the game called Rusty Bucket Bay, oh, good luck for him, because obviously that is by far the hardest level in the whole entire game, because you know what the forms of that infamous section. So, yeah, best of luck. But anyway, I suppose that's pretty much as far as I can talk about for the sake of this conversation, although I would like to mention about the forms of other topics worth noting for, like I said, but ultimately speaking though is the fact that, well, for those of you who live in North America, they still need to wait for about 2 days left until the actual film finally comes out. So, but luckily though, it is pretty much #1 so far from the forms of the UK country, in this case my country so far, which I think is actually a good sign. So, yeah, as a result though, we can able to expect of what this is going. But I digress. So anyways, let's grab some more of those store coins in case if we need to spend some of it for not only for copyability upgrades, but also just trying to spend on those specific capsules that we can probably discuss on it until for later on. So there we go. We've managed to complete this entire stage, despite the fact that we need to rescue one last Waddle Dee, but thankfully we did manage to got him. Oh, lucky me, I've got myself a Maximum Tomato figurine, so pretty cool though, especially noticeable about the fact that, well, relatively speaking, that we can able to get the insane amount of those figurines if possible. But anyway, so I think suffice to say, we'll go ahead and end things off at this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That is the fact that we're able to carry on exploring around in the forms of Wondaria Remains. So hopefully we can able to wrap things up in this entire world by, you know, doing all sorts of stuff around here. So I'll see you guys until on Friday. Later, fellas.